Good morning, students. Now we are going to solve these questions. Now s is equal to given set is 1 comma 2 comma 3, right? Now we have to find lower bound, upper bound, infimum, supremum, whether it is bounded below or bounded above or bounded, right? All these we are going to find. Now here, now s is given, right? S is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. It contains 3 elements only. Now here I am using this space for rough work. Now what we have to do, right? We have to pick any real number. See, any real number, your wish, right? Now here I am taking 0. 0 is a real number. Whether 0 is less than the elements of s or not. Yes, 0 is less than 1, 0 is less than 2, 0 is less than 3, right? Therefore 0 is a lower bound, right? Now therefore I am writing lower bounds is equal to 0, right? Now what about 1? Now 1 is a real number, right? 1 is a real number. Whether 1 is less than the elements of s or not. Yes, 1 is less than 2, 1 is less than 3, another element is there in s which is 1, right? Now whether 1 equal to 1 or not. Yes, what is our actual definition? Any real number L is said to be a lower bound if L is less than or equal to x for all x belongs to s, right? ఏదైనా ఒక కేసులో ఈక్వల్ కావచ్చు, మిగతా అన్ని కేసెస్లో లెస్ దాన్ అయి ఉండాలి. Now here one other lower bound we got is 1. 1 is a lower bound. Now another synopsis is there. What is that important point? If a real number a is a lower bound, a real number small a is a lower bound of a set, then any number less than a is also a lower bound. Now 1 is a lower bound. Any real number less than 1, that means 0, just now we checked. Now minus 1 is a lower bound, minus 2 is a lower bound, minus 3 is a lower bound, minus 4 is a lower bound. All these are lower bounds of s, right? Now we'll take another real number. Another real number I am taking 4, right? Whether 4 is a lower bound or not, we have to cross check. Whether 4 is less than the element of s, here element is 1, no, right? Therefore 4 is not a lower bound. Here 4 is not less than 2, here 4 is not a lower bound, right? Now if 4 is not a lower bound, any number greater than 4 is not a lower bound, simple, right? Now what about upper bounds? Now what is the definition? A real number u is said to be an upper bound of s if u is greater than or equal to x. Just now another example I am taking 3. 3 is a real number. Now whether 3 is greater than the elements of s or not, check it out. 3 is greater than first element of s, that is 1. 3 is greater than second element of s, that is 2. Whether 3 is greater than third element, that is 3, no? Here 3 is equal to 3, right? Therefore the upper bound is 3, right? Any number, any real number, suppose u is an upper bound of s, any number greater than u is also an upper bound. Here 3 is an upper bound. Greater than 3 means 4 is also an upper bound, 5 is an upper bound, 6 is an upper bound, and so on. All the real numbers which are greater than 3 are upper bounds of s, right? Any real number I am saying. Now next one, here we have to find greatest lower bound or infimum. Infimum is equal to, all these are lower bounds. The greatest element, the highest element is 1. Therefore, 1 is the greatest lower bound. Now, what about least upper bound? Least upper bound or supremum is equal to, all these are upper bounds. What is the smallest element? Least element is 3. Therefore, in supremum is equal to 3. Right? Now, yeah, whether this set has lower bounds or not? Yes. If a set has a lower bound, then S is bounded below. Here, clearly we are writing S is bounded below. ఎందుకని రీజన్ ఇక్కడ రాద్దాం. సిన్స్ ఎస్ హ్యాస్ లోవర్ బౌండ్స్. Now, next conclusion, S is bounded above. Reason what? What is the reason? Since S has upper bounds. Now, S is both bounded below and bounded above. Therefore, S is bounded. Bounded set or simply bounded. Now, similarly, second example తీసుకుందాం. What is second example? S is equal to 1, 2, 3, so on. Right? This is the second example. Now, lower bounds. Lower bounds is equal to, again definition. We have to take a real number, any real number. Any real number, I am taking the least one. 1 I am taking now. 1 belongs to R. Now I have to compare this one with the elements of S. Right? Elements of S. 1 is less than 2 or not? Yes. 1 is less than 3 or not? Yes. 1 is less than 4 or not? Yes. 1 is less than 5? Yes. 1 is less than 6? Yes. 1 is equal to 1. Right? Now you have to compare that real number with the elements of S. Now here these are the elements of S. Now therefore 1 is a lower bound. Right? Next, any if you know the one real one lower bound, you can write other lower bounds by using that synopsis. Right? If a, small letter a, is a lower bound, then any real number less than a is also a lower bound. Now I am taking 1 is a lower bound, less than 1 means 0 is a lower bound, minus 1 is a lower bound, minus 2 is a lower bound, minus 3 is a lower bound, and so on. All these are lower bounds of S. If you want, you can compare with these numbers with the elements of S or not. Now, similarly, upper bounds is equal to. Now, what is the definition of upper bound? We have to take a real number. You take any real number, say 100. 100 is a real number. Now, what we have to do? We have to we have to check. We have to compare this 100 with the elements of S. Whether 100 is greater than 1 or not? Yes. 100 is greater than 2 or not? Yes. 100 is greater than 3 or not? Yes. So on. 100 is greater than 101 or not? No. Right? 100 is not greater than 101 because this set contains 101, 102, 103, 1000, 2000, 3000. Right? Now, therefore, 1 is not a lower bound of S. Now, you take another real number, say 1000. Now, 1000 is a real number. Now, 1000 is greater than the elements of S or not? No. Right? Here this set contains 1 lakh also. Right? It's so on, no? Right? 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, so on. Right? It's an infinite set. Therefore, 1000 is not greater than the elements of S. Therefore, 1000 is not an upper bound. Therefore, upper bounds for this set. ఏమని రాస్తాం? No upper bounds. No upper bounds. Okay. Now conclusion. Next, greatest lower bound or infimum is equal to what? ఉన్న వాటిలో greatest number 1. నెక్స్ట్ supremum or least upper bound is equal to does not exist అని రాస్తాం. ఎందుకంటే అప్పర్ బౌండ్స్ లేవు కదా. ఆర్ నో సుప్రీమమ్, సింప్లీ నో సుప్రీమమ్. నౌ హియర్ ఎస్ ఈస్ బౌండెడ్ బిలో. ఎందుకని? రీజన్ సిన్స్ ఎస్ హ్యాస్ లోవర్ బౌండ్స్. నెక్స్ట్ కంక్లూజన్, ఎస్ ఈజ్ నాట్ బౌండెడ్ అబౌవ్. రీజన్ ఏంటి? ఎస్ హ్యాస్ నో అప్పర్ బౌండ్స్. నా వాట్స్ యువర్ కంక్లూజన్ వెదర్ ఎస్ ఈజ్ బౌండెడ్ ఆర్ నాట్? నో. హియర్ క్లియర్ రాస్తున్నాం ఇక్కడ, ఎస్ ఈజ్ నాట్ బౌండెడ్.